You heard the cheers in Citi Field. You know, the New York fans there appreciate history, but there's also still a ton of Giants fans, old school Giants fans in the New York City area based on their roots and the long-standing history of this team. Is it fair to say, John, with the fact that there's been a no-hitter at least thrown in the last 4 seasons, in which a couple of World Series have been won, is this the best the Giants franchise has ever been right now, John?
Well, I truly think this is a golden age of the Giants. I mean, you go back 100 years when the World Series, 115 years when the World Series first started being played, the Giants were a premier team at that time. And Christy Mathewson, who was one of the 3 Giants rookies to ever pitch a no-hitter before Heston did it last night. Christy Mathewson, one of the great right-handers in the history of the game. But the Giants were great in those days, and they were in the World Series a lot and whatnot. But this 3 World Series championships in the last 5 years, this is truly a golden age in the long history of the Giants, I think, without question. And I think the one thing that sort of sets the Giants apart, you talk about their New York history, the Giants' current management, the ownership, they embrace that history. You really cannot say that. I think you could say that safely say that the Dodgers embrace their history in Brooklyn to this day because that was so fabled. And otherwise, I think that most teams who have changed cities, they don't really embrace it like that. The Giants in each of the seasons where they've won the World Series, Larry Baer, the president of the team, they come back to the New York Baseball Writers' Dinner. They bring the World Series trophy with them. They bring Willie Mays with them. And they bring the guy who was the MVP of the World Series, who's going to get his awards at the banquet and whatnot. And Willie Mays has gone up to the school in the old neighborhood where the Polo Grounds was, where he used to play stickball with the kids. And he meets with all the kids at the school. They have a big assembly. They meet with the New York Giants Baseball Preservation Society, which still exists. They just had a meeting here on Monday where they get together and they show their slides and their memorabilia and whatnot, and talk about the old days. And somebody from the Giants currently spoke at the dinner they had on Monday. So the Giants really actively embrace that, and I think that's kind of cool. And Peter Vesey in the New York Times, and I hope I had the right Vesey there.
George. Yeah.
George Vesey.
Yes.
George Vesey wrote in the New York Times a couple of years ago when they came back that he wondered if there was some good karma being sent the Giants' way because they did not ignore that part of their history, which is it's a rich, storied history. And this was the 17th no-hitter in Giants history in their 133 seasons of the franchise. So, but 4 of them in the last 4 years, as you say, 5 in the last 7 years. So it's a golden time for the Giants in terms of their success and for their no-hitters going hand in hand with that.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.